Joining me now are Kamau Bell, and a comedian and host of the award-winning series United Shades of America, and Liz Winstead, the founder and chief creative officer of Abortion Access Front, an abortion rights advocacy group. She's also the co-creator of The Daily Show and host of the podcast Feminist Buzzkills Live. Welcome to you both. It's great to have you. So Liz, let's start with you. Why was it important for you to produce this video and campaign for men to become more involved in the fight for abortion rights?
Well, I have to say, I have to give credit all around, because I was approached by an incredible producer and comedian, Josh Healy and Adam Mansbach, and Kamau, who actually wanted to do this video. But we have been doing a campaign because, truth be told, when you look at historically how patriarchy and white supremacy has played a role, think about the fact that women couldn't have a credit card. Husbands could make medical decisions, could commit women to asylums, And so for years, I think we just rejected men weighing in. And I think what this video does so beautifully is, uses humor to show dads and cis men how much they've benefited from birth control and abortion, but also to change the narrative of control and intervention to a narrative of men having solidarity with us, men saying we're invested in your life and your full potential. And I just love that they wanted to do it and that they came to us without us having to ask. So thank you, Kamau and Josh and Adam.
Hey, Kamau, that raises a very interesting point for me, because as someone who stands on the other side of this conversation, I've always believed that the piece that was missing was men. No one always seems to put the burden on either, whether on the pro-life side or on the pro-choice side, on women. And so prior to working with Abortion Access Front and making this video, was there ever a time when you thought this wasn't your fight, this wasn't your battle? And what's your message to other men now who may still have that apprehension about engaging in this subject?
I mean, I do think that the apprehension for men is normally on my side. As you say, on your side, I think men often do weigh in and tell women what to do with their bodies. So I would say that on this side of the aisle, men often feel like they don't need to get into the conversation because there are activists, there are women doing the battle. And I learned a long time ago from my wife and from my mom and friends of mine. I live in a place called the Bay Area of California, that we all have to battle for everybody's rights, that it's not, we don't let one group battle for their rights and another group battle for their rights, that if there's good work to be done, we all got to get involved in that good trouble, as a very wise man once said.
Yeah, Liz, the first point made in the video is the huge discrepancy between how much women spend on birth control compared to what men spend. What else do you think men should know about the burdens that women face in terms of reproductive health care?
I mean, I think that it's not just even it's the doctor's appointments. It's the constant weight of what it means to be an emancipated person in this country. We have to carry that every day. And as we wait for Roe v. Wade which is 99.9% sure going to be overturned, sharing the solidarity around defending the humanity of what we go through. Just because we have the ability to bear children doesn't mean that we have the means or even the want or desire to do so, or if people already have kids, as the video also points out so brilliantly, most people who are seeking abortion are already parents. And so when people look at the scope and totality of their lives and look at their own capacities, and people want to be the best parents they can be, and we should honor that. And the problem, I think, so much in this country is that we don't value pregnancy outcomes at all. If there's a 16-year-old that's pregnant and says, my value system says I want to have this kid, we don't provide resources for that person to thrive and raise a child in a healthy environment. And conversely, if a 35-year-old says, I have kids, I can't afford another one, we don't value that person's decision to have an abortion so that they can have and raise the healthy family that they know they can with their capacities. And so, we need to look at this holistically and in a larger picture. And I feel like we never do. It's like we center on pregnancies as though they are full people, and we never center the people who are going through the experience and harm. And I'm just so thankful that Kamau and so many men are coming forward now and saying, you know what, we need to stand with you, because just like white folks need to fight racism because they started it, dudes that have been controlling women this whole time need to step up and say, yeah, we kind of messed up and we allowed all these monster men on the other side to control your bodies, and we want to stand with you and say that it's a fight that we will prioritize.
Well, it's interesting, Kamau. Liz touches on an interesting idea around the misconceptions that exist in this space. As you said earlier in the clip, the majority of people seeking abortions are already parents, and a lot of people don't realize that. Do you think people still have, the reasons that they need and understand what those reasons really are that individuals have when they seek out an abortion and they're seeking the help that they desire at that moment?
I mean, let's be clear. Like, the majority of the country supports reproductive rights. Majority of the country supports Roe versus Wade. But I think a majority of the country, specifically on the left side, isn't engaged in the fight. So that's what this is about, getting those engaged in the fight. I've been very privileged in my life where I've been to the Jackson, Mississippi. I've met Lori Bertrand Roberts of the Yellowhammer Fund and been to the Jackson Women's Health Center to see these stories up close. And unfortunately, in America, so many times, unless an issue touches you, you think you know all about it, even if you know nothing about it. So for me, it's about sharing information. I didn't know the stat about that people who are pregnant were seeking abortions at a higher rate either. I didn't know that stat either. And I would just say to men, if you believe in a person's right to choose and reproductive rights, then you got to get in the fight. Or you can just do like me, have some kids, and then get a vasectomy, and then you got to worry about it no more. That's the choice my wife presented to me.
Well, there is that. there is that. There are always options, right? Liz Winstead and W. Kamau Bell, thank you both, and happy Father's Day to you, Kamau. Appreciate you. Before we go, a quick programming note. Tonight, be sure to watch an encore presentation of 4 Seasons Total Documentary, a film that delves into Rudy Giuliani's infamous press conference at 4 Seasons Total Landscaping, delivered just as the 2020 presidential election was being called for Joe Biden. That's tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern on MSNBC, and you can also stream it on Peacock. Well, guess what, folks? That does it for me this morning. Thanks for watching. Now, don't go anywhere just yet, because the Cross Connection with Tiffany Cross begins right now.